Hello, Minecrafters and Redstoners. I am Natanis Likens, and we're gonna try something today. This is kind of a weird video that I'm trying to put together. This is like a first attempt. We're doing a time lapse, and then I'm gonna talk over the top of it. So this should be interesting. Typically, I do a lot of videos of real life of me talking for like 30, 40 minutes. So this should, in theory, be exactly the same. Uh, I don't know exactly how long we're going to be able to talk about the subject that I want to talk about. We may run out of time on the video, or we may not have enough to talk about. So this will be weird. But first off, what is going on the screen here? This is it's a new farm that I created. There was no tutorial that I followed. This is my own creation. A lot of my redstone is my own creation. Very little do I actually follow. Now there are some circuits that I recreate. For instance, the TNT dupers. That is something that I've copied. I don't remember what the source was for those TNT dupers, so you'll have to bear with me on that. I don't remember. It's been over 2 years since I first made those, and who it belongs to, I just simply can't remember. Um, but yeah, this is a TNT powered farm that is specifically for making mud, clay, dirt, and oak logs from azalea trees. Yeah, there's a lot of principles and ideas behind how all this works together, and I kind of took inspiration from Exumavoid on the Hermitcraft server and just kind of went for it. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while because I really, really need dirt. Um, that is something that I think it was Pearl said in one of her videos where you just end up collecting a lot of dirt and nobody really needs to sell dirt or grass because you have so much of it. I'm kind of the opposite. I always find myself needing more. I think I have a couple of shulkers from when I just went out to a mangrove swamp and I just absolutely decimated it. So I think I have a little bit from that. Nowhere near what I need because the terraforming and the build that I want to continue working on and want to finish is just going to be massive. It's a project that is not. I don't see it lasting, or I don't see it lasting. I see it lasting way more than just a single year. I mean, obviously, it's been 2 years since I even, well, almost. It's been a while since the last time I worked on my city project. So yeah, it's something that is a long term project, and it's just going to be something I have to whittle away at when I can. I have not been able to so much as work on anything over the last year, and I just kind of ended up deciding to go ahead and do something just like a few days ago. Uh, which brings me to what I actually want to talk about. And there's a reason I'm like segueing over into the subject I want to talk about. Um, I had another dream that I want to share with you guys, and originally and this is just today. Like I had the idea. I was like, okay, this dream that I had last night, I'm gonna go ahead and share it. That's gonna be what the video is. Originally, the video was supposed to be. I wanted to play Linkin Park's song "Numb" over the top of it, and that was just going to be the video. You're just going to hear Linkin Park's "Numb" over the entire video. That is one of my absolute favorite songs, so you are aware. There is a reason I wanted to play that, and that's basically how I've been feeling the last few days. But it just didn't seem right. Like, it may still end up appearing in this video. As of right now, we're still working on the voiceover for it, so we'll see what happens there. Um, but that was kind of the thought, and then I had this dream last night, and this dream was really, really. interesting to me because it just the visuals and everything going on with it just it's new. It's something that I don't know how to comprehend just yet. Like I've been running it through my head over and over. I need to drink water real quick. Wow, excuse me. My voice is getting a little bit raspy there. We got a long way to talk. So we're not going to jump into it right now, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the day. Um, a few hours ago, I was like, no, this probably isn't like that good of an idea. It's probably bad, and a lot of people don't like hearing about me talking about dreams and everything. Like all the dream videos have just kind of they just kind of died. Like nobody's listening. Uh, and even some of the Minecraft stuff that I do, like nobody's watching. Like occasionally something will hit bigs, and I'll get like 100 likes or something. I think the video where I sang "Should Have Been a Cowboy" was probably the biggest video I have. I think it's close to 900 views at this point. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's the biggest thing I have. There's nothing even close. I think the next closest is like almost 150 views. Um, so that idea just didn't set well with me. I was like, this I want to share this dream, but it doesn't seem like that's the right path to take. Like it's not going to be something everybody's going to want to watch. And plus we get into my obsession again. If you haven't heard me say it before, obviously because I just talked about two of their members, my obsession is Hermitcraft. I can't deny it. It is what it is. I'm completely and utterly addicted to them. I love watching their shenanigans and everything, and I think it's just good fun. Um, and I do try to emulate them. Like that has been the entire thing that I've done with my channel is trying to emulate Hermitcraft, emulate its members for the sole purpose of being able to join them. Uh, I've come to terms with that. I realize that that's impossible. It's never going to happen, and I just need to move on and do whatever. It's a dream that I might as well just give up on. It's never going to happen, and that's the end of that. And you may be like, well, you shouldn't give up on it. No, there is a reason why I'm saying that. The way that they go about picking and choosing new people to join them, it has to be a unanimous vote. And because of some things that happened with Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter nearly 2 years ago, uh, there's at least three hermits that would never vote for me, even if I were big. I'm not big. We're a very tiny channel. I think last I looked, we were at 62 subscribers. Thank you to all 62 of you. But the fact is, we're not big enough to get noticed. I need to quit like fooling myself on that. We're not big enough to get noticed by any of the hermits. They're not going to know my name. The one time somebody did bring me up was Stress Monster in the video, and she didn't even say my name right. So whatever. Um, so I didn't want to talk about that, and I'm sitting there struggling to think about, well, what am I going to do with this video? Like I've got this thing put together. All it's waiting on is one for the rendering to happen, which I'm even looking at it. It still hasn't rendered, and the other part is the voiceover. Like, what am I going to put over the top of this? It's just a boring blank video at the moment. So I'm sitting there thinking about it and trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do with this? I really want to post it today. I wanted to post it at like 9 a.m. Uh, that didn't happen. Um, so it was just like, what am I going to do with this? And thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Go in between everything else that I'm trying to do right now, like going and looking at job boards and everything, and it's nothing's changed. Like it's the same few jobs that I applied to earlier in the week. I'm just seeing repeats. So I shouldn't expect new things to come out that often. It's not like they post new jobs every day. So yeah, that's a thing. I thought about, maybe I could try and stream working on the farm a little bit, and nah, didn't feel right. But I still had this video that I needed to put together and finish, and I just didn't know what to put over the top of it. Like, what am I going to talk about? And this is, ironically, this is kind of feeling like a podcast to me because of the way I've got this set up. We'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna have to try and edit this voiceover, but so back to Twitter. I'm on Twitter, just looking around, scrolling, thinking, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And I come across this post. This post is just an image. There's no the person that posted it didn't say anything. It's just an image of somebody else's post. Now, obviously, there's somebody out there in the world that is posting things as mythical people. Like, you got somebody posting as Thor out there. You got somebody posting as the devil. But this one said it's God, and the post read, "There's a reason I gave you that dream." Okay, that is probably the most clear-cut thing I've ever seen. Now, whether or not it's talking about this dream specifically, I don't know. If it's talking about my dream or desire to join the Hermits and be part of that community in a more involved way. Yeah, that sounds really weird. I realize that. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if it's got to do with my dream of anything, like all the goals that I've had to leave behind for various reasons. I don't know. But it seemed like that is just pointing me to, I should really talk about this particular dream. And in fact, let me pull up I got a little notepad that I opened up and just jotted down some notes from the dream so we can kind of go over that. And the reason I do like to do these, and I mean that, I like sharing my dreams. And it's not meant to be anything rude or weird or anything. It's just meant to be like a topic, like something to talk about and something to share. And then even like psychologically, something to break down. And the reason I say that is I did have an incident with one of the hermits on their Discord, and I decided that I need to leave if they think I'm trying to cause trouble or being a nuisance or whatever. So yeah, that is a thing that did happen, and that is why I am not on very many Discords anymore. Um, I did recently go back and rejoin Pearlescent Moon's Discord. Uh, Not sure how I feel about that right now, but I am back on her Discord for the third or fourth time. I've lost track. So let's go ahead and let's jump into this dream a little bit that I had last night and try to break it down and try to figure it out. And, well, let's just go ahead. First, so I'm going to close my eyes and try to remember it, and occasionally I'm going to look up at the notepad there, and hopefully we don't run over the actual video that I've got playing. Doesn't look like it is still in that portion. We haven't gotten to the other portion just yet. Oh, what? Everything just went black. I can't see anything. There we go. There, that's better. It's not what I meant to do. I want to be able to see this so that I know what's going on there. Okay, I feel like I've got arranged. So basically, the dream starts off. I am walking into what is effectively a convention center. If you've ever been to any kind of convention, imagine walking in that door. And I want you to close your eyes and kind of follow me through this too. So I walk into what is like a convention door. Like there's a convention going on and you're walking in. However, it's not really set up as a convention. It's more like an arcade. Like there's games and arcades everywhere. And on the right is a area specifically for eating. Like there's a little restaurant section over to the right, and directly in front is an area of seats set up in kind of a U shape. And this is like a streamers section, like people up front streaming, and you can like interact with them and everything. They're right there. However, it's behind a redstone piston door, if that makes any kind of sense. It's a redstone piston door in the real world. That's what's there. The door is actually a little bit messed up, and I'm looking to my right where my station is. So I've got a station right there, right in front. I picked this station specifically so that people would see me, they'd get to notice and everything, and that's where I'm at. But the piston door is actually broken. There are pieces of it missing, and it was made by Impulse. Impulse SV of Hermitcraft. He made it. Whether or not this has any kind of real world connection to the problems with his piston door on the season 10 map, I don't know. But he did make it. Now, there is one other thing to note in that this is not made out of Minecraft blocks. No. This is actually made out of Lego blocks. And I'm talking like the meter size Minecraft blocks. These are Lego blocks that are making up this redstone door. Um, and there's some of these missing. The redstone door is all kinds of jacked up and everything. It's not working right. And I'm like, I've got to tell Impulse about this so he can fix it. Why I didn't fix it myself, I don't know. I don't consider myself a genius at redstone, but I do come up with things quite often and implement them and work on them and everything. But why I've decided that I'm going to inform him about it and let him fix it, I don't know. I don't understand why I didn't fix it myself. That doesn't make any sense. I can't really place that. As far as the up front and center, that's like, I want to attribute that to wanting to get noticed, is kind of what I'm thinking on that portion. The whole reason I'm up front is so that, people notice me and everything. Uh, One other little detail here, I am carrying around all of my equipment. Like, I've got it in like a luggage case that I am pulling it around and everything instead of like having it set up at a station. Um, Now, the hermits are off on the right, closer to the restaurant, or in the restaurant. It's kind of a weird setup. But they have like glorious setups and everything, and people have catered to them, and they don't have to worry about setting up anything. It's all there, all ready for them. The only thing I can attribute this portion of the dream to is when they did the fundraiser here recently, and I just completely blanked on what the name of the fundraiser was. Um, Dadgummit, that's gonna bug me. I don't remember. Yeah, so I'm guessing that whole setup and the way that they are off on their own little side, that's got to deal with that. Um, why, I don't know. I guess it's just because they had that going on with the live stream that they did and raise money. Um, so yeah, they're off on the side. The only ones that I know are off to my, well, technically it'd be in front of me, but because I'm standing up looking at my station, they're off to my right. Like I said, they're off to my right over in the food restaurant area of the arcade. So they're off over there. The only three that I know are over there are Impulse, Gemini Tay, and False Symmetry for some reason. I'm not really sure why those three. I've got nothing for you on that. I don't know why I've got Impulse's door other than, the doors had problems on Hermitcraft Season 10. Yeah, that's... I really don't have any idea on that. And, why is this stopped? This hasn't stopped. That's weird. No, it hasn't stopped. Um, yeah. Okay. There it goes. It's moving again. So they're off over there doing their thing and everything. And I go off to find Impulse. I know he's over in this section somewhere. And I come over to the area in the dream, and there are people everywhere. There's just all sorts of people over there. It's kind of like a dinner get together kind of setup, but it's inside this arcade at the restaurant portion of it, and it's kind of like they got folding chairs and tables everywhere. But yeah, as I'm looking for Impulse to let him know about the redstone door being messed up, I see. Oh, excuse me. I see Jimmy is there. Like, I flat out see Jimmy. He's the only one that is 100% clear. Like, everybody else that's there, it's kind of a vague impression that they are there. Like, when I said Impulse, Jim, and False Symmetry were off to my right, it wasn't like I actually saw them. It was like a vague impression that they are there. And that's about it. Uh, Jimmy, on the other hand, and I know Jimmy's not a member of Hermitcraft. He's actually, I don't know what he's a part of now, because used to I'd watch him as part of the Empire's crew. I don't know if Empire's Season 3 is happening. If it is, I'd love to join. Yeah, little self plug there. It's never gonna happen. We're not big enough to join Empires or any other group that is doing that stuff. Um, but yeah, Jimmy's there. He's the only one I can clearly see. And then off. Okay, so we're coming up to this section, and I forgot to mention this. I don't know if it's important, but we're coming up the side. Like, if the restaurant eating area is off to our right, we immediately take a left and start walking back. And then after a while, you turn right, and there's all these chairs and everything. We walk into this section. Jimmy's over there on our right. And then I look past Jimmy, and there's Impulse. So I walk back to Impulse, and this is where things get really weird. Um, and it keeps going on from here. Now, as far as why anybody is there, I don't know. But everybody is there having fun and enjoying themselves. And Impulse is sitting there with, I assume, his wife. And they're wearing one of those big, like, couple shirts. You know, the type of shirt where two people can get inside of it. But obviously we don't know what his wife looks like. I don't think a picture's ever been shown. And I'm assuming that's who's with him. I don't want to, like, say anything out of place there, but they're wearing that couple's kind of shirt there, sitting there together. I inform Impulse of the door. He kind of just is like, yeah, okay, I'll take care of it. Who are you? Like, flat out says that. And I'm like, come on, man. You know who I am. I've been playing on the server with you for a week. So, in the dream, the convention's been going on for a week. And I have been playing right beside all these other people for over a week. And he doesn't know who I am. That seems a little bit, like, arrogant to think that he should know who I am after a week. I think what this actually represents is that I keep saying it was a full year of making content. It wasn't. I got cut short and then just kind of barely was able to make anything. So saying that I did stuff for a year and that everybody should know who I am is extremely arrogant. If you haven't seen that video, I set that to private. But yeah, there was a whole video I made of how I'm arrogant on a lot of things. But that is kind of what I feel like is going on at this portion of the dream. It's just kind of showing myself my own arrogance. Like, here's somebody that's been doing content and video making for, I don't know how long, 12 years, and he doesn't know me after a week. Yeah, so anyway, I let Impulse try to guess my name, and he doesn't get it. I mean, obviously he's not going to get it. He doesn't know who I am. None of these people know who I am. And that's kind of where things start to shift a little bit. Originally, I sit down with them, and I'm sitting there with some other people. I don't know who, and then you got Impulse and his wife right in front of me. And after a while, he can't guess my name, so I walk up and I leave. Then I come over to Jim, and here we go with more weirdness. So Gemini is sitting with her boyfriend in my dream. Now, whether or not she has a boyfriend, I don't know. I am aware that she is bi, so she may actually have a girlfriend right now. I don't know. Uh, I don't think that's right, but whatever. Um, that is my own opinion on that. But we're not here to talk about it. So she's sitting there with him, and I don't even really know how to describe this other than if you've ever watched cheerleaders and you see a female cheerleader reach back and grab the male cheerleader's hands, so they're interlocking their fingers, and then he lifts her up, and then she does a handstand on him. That's kind of what is going on. It's a little more tricky to try and describe because it's not a full-on handstand, because she can't bend her arms all the way, so it's kind of like she's kind of like arched up into an S shape in the dream, and I look at that and I just say something to the effect of, Jim, you scare me more than Pearl jumping around on a cliff. Okay, yeah, I know that sounds really, really weird. But that is, I have no explanation for that. I can't I can't even begin to explain what in the world that even means. Um, I really can't. As far as Pearl jumping around on a cliffside, this is a little more interesting because the actual visual that goes with that in my dream is, if you've ever played Decked Out 2, or if you've ever watched Decked Out 2, there is a room on level 2 of the dungeon that is kind of a dripstone cave. Yeah, that's what I'm imagining Pearl jumping around in. So she's in that particular room, jumping around on the edge of the quote unquote cliff. So that is what my head is like showing me during this portion of the dream. Again, I have no idea what these visuals mean. That is completely lost on me. That is so weird that I can't. I've got no idea what that is supposed to be. Probably the strangest part of the dream is right there. Like, I don't get it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I don't understand why why Jim is doing a handstand. I don't know what that's got to do with Pearl jumping on a cliff, and that cliff is just the Dripstone Cavern from Decked Out 2. But yeah, that is what that visual there is. Now, after this is said, I turn and I see, there's Jimmy again. Jimmy is now, earlier when he was on my right, now he's up on my left and back behind me. So I have to turn to my left and look, and I see Jimmy over there again. And I also see Lizzie for some reason. I don't know why Jim and Lizzie are in the dream. The only thing I can attribute Jimmy to being in the dream for, or Solidarity, whichever one you want to call him, or the sheriff. The only thing I can attribute to that is all the build swapping that they have done in recent videos. That's the only thing I can think of there, is because he did all those videos of now associated him with being part of that crew, which technically he is. I mean, he did go to the fundraiser along with the majority of the majority? No. Along with a whole bunch of other hermits. And in the Littlewood. So I'm guessing that's why he's there. As far as why Lizzie is there, the only thing I can think of is because Lizzie is Joel's wife, and he is now part of Hermitcraft. Joel isn't there. Lizzie is. I've no idea why. And one other person is also there, and I don't really understand why this person is there either, because it's not. It's kind of like I said earlier, where I don't see the actual people. Jimmy and now Lizzie are the only two I actually see. Like they are in my dream. Like they are. I can see them. Uh, Jim, False, Impulse. No, I don't actually see them. I just know this person is them. It's not actually them because we've got plenty of pictures of them in real life, so I know what they look like. But it's not actually them. It's just somebody supposed to be them, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. But the other person that is there but not there is Shovel. I'm not sure why Shovel is there either, because Shovel I don't associate with Hermitcraft as much as I do Lizzie and Jimmy. Now, Shovel was part of the crossover event in season 9, where she came over with some of the other members of Empires to be on the Hermitcraft server, but I don't know why she's there. That's another odd one. It is rather odd. Now, and again, it's just like I was saying earlier. Like I can't explain all of it. There's bits and pieces that I'm just like, now wait a minute, what? Why is this the way it is? Why is that there? Why is this here? Yeah, I don't know. Now what I can tell you is about the feelings that I'm having throughout this. So when I first get into the convention, this is going back on me. So this is more of my brain trying to work out things and everything and my own psychology. Some of the other stuff it is, but I don't know what it means. This portion I do know because the emotions change drastically throughout the dream. So when I first get there, I'm super excited. I'm ready to get to work and everything and get on with this and everything. I've got all my stuff ready and I'm wheeling it in. So at the beginning of the dream, I'm very, very happy about all this. I think I'm like living on cloud nine. I'm in the limelight and I feel really good about myself. When I go off to find Impulse, nobody's over in the main section. That's one of the things I didn't really say, is the main section of the restaurant portion of this, nobody's in. Everybody's in the back. They're in the back corner, so it's a little bit of a distance for me to travel to get to everybody. So I get there, and, you know, if you've ever heard of the mentality of feeling like you're in a room by yourself, even though there's a lot of people, that's exactly how I feel. And I know what that means. Don't beat me to it. Let me get there. So I'm basically in this room with a lot of people, and I feel like I'm all on my own. So I go over there, and when Impulse doesn't know who I am, yeah, he doesn't know my name, and I end up just kind of walking away as he's still with, you know, his wife and having a good time with everybody. I'm starting to feel like a little lost because I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not having a good time. Everybody else is. And then when I go and talk to Jim, she doesn't even register that I'm talking to her, to be perfectly honest, in the dream. Nothing. And I'm looking around at all these other people, and I'm just seeing, you know, everybody's having fun. And there I am, isolated and alone. I've got nobody to really talk to, and it's actually kind of normal. Like, I feel that way all the time. And anybody that's actually watching this has started to shout at me, yes, I know exactly what that means. It's depression. I'm very aware of that. Trust me, I've had my bouts with depression for over 20 years, so it is what it is. So that portion there is fairly obvious to me. Like, it's that whole feeling good, and as time wears on, the depression starts to set in and everything. And the depression just kind of is where the dream ends. And then I woke up from there. So, yeah, really interesting dream. And I can see right now, looking at my video, we haven't even made it to the one section. So, yeah, I gotta find something else to talk about. So, it's switching over. We should have just a few more minutes. So, yeah, leave your comments down below on what you think some of the visuals I just described are. And we're gonna go over here, and I'm going to start talking about what's going on in the video. So, obviously here, I am starting to set up the collection system for the farm, like where it's collecting all the wood, where it's collecting the clay, the dirt, actually the rooted dirt, and the mud. So if we can go like left to right on this, so the left side there, that's the wood collector, obviously, because that's where that's pushing through, and you can see that the dirt's being pushed towards the camera on the bottom there. Technically, I mean, we're up high. On the right there, the far right, where I'm at right now, hopefully this matches up. That is the mud section. The one in the middle there is the dirt, and then the one on the far side there is the clay. Now, eventually, I am going to hook up the clay to a a smelter array. Uh, but I kind of need to get some more wood into the system. We got to fill up all the wood, and judging by what I was seeing with the how much wood I was generating versus how much clay I was generating, that shouldn't be an issue. The issue is going to come in with how am I going to store all that. I'll figure it out at some point, but for now, that is a little bit of a problem. So it's something I'm gonna have to figure out, like how we're gonna feed all this together and keep it from overflowing into various other places. But yeah, that is pretty much that system there. And obviously, I'm covering up because we're making the waterways, the path that the items are going to travel to get into the storage system. So that is what's going on there. And we're just going to give it a little bit. Here, I was thinking that I wanted this to just flow into one section, and then I thought, well, now I've got all these hoppers here. I can't make a hopper chain because that's going to be too many hoppers. I need to use less hoppers. Because like I said, I'm going to feed the wood into a furnace array later to smelt all the clay and get bricks. So then I rearranged it and everything, as you just saw. Okay, we're moving on to the final clip here. Not the final clip, but the next clip. So this is just going to kind of demonstrate how this farm actually works. So basically, if you see the button right there, I push the button, it activates all this redstone right here in front of me. The only thing this redstone does is activates the sticky pistons there, which pushes the wood out and pushes the dirt out. And then it feeds that signal over here to the stone generator. And from the stone generator, you're going to see that it actually wraps around and does a couple of things. So over here, it also goes to what is separating out the dirt. So you can see right there beside the obsidian, there is a piston. That piston is pushing the dirt over and out so that we can later collect it and everything. There is another one over there. I wasn't quick enough. It destroys whatever is on top of the moss. Okay, so over here, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the section that is supposed to be automatically dropping TNT down to break the blocks over there, so I was investigating that. Over here you can see what is actually turning the dirt into mud. So this is it's kind of a complicated system of pistons and timings to where it is creating mud and then pushing everything down this ribbon of this that it's a ribbon of dripstone. Yeah, just had a stroke right there. But it's a section of dripstone that is transforming all the mud on the one side there into clay. So yeah, we got basically our infinite clay creation there. I didn't make it long enough to guarantee that I get every single piece of mud turned into clay. I'm not too worried about that. I made this in such a way that I got more storage for mud than I do clay. So I'm expecting a little bit of it not to be turned into clay. As far as what I'm going to do with the clay, I don't know. I can use it for bricks later, or I can take it and sell it to masons to get more diamonds. I was using masons earlier on, and this is actually kind of what started it. I was using masons earlier to get a whole bunch of granite to continue on with the roads that I have in my city build. So there is some of that going on that we are working with, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and try and build this. Um, so again, you can see that I changed a little bit of the redstone over here. We had a problem. I finally figured it out. It was the redstone length wasn't long enough, so we were at the max length for redstone. We were at 15 blocks, and it wasn't powering these repeaters right there. So I had to add a couple more repeaters into the system in order to extend the redstone signal to activate all the redstone that allows the TNT duper to work. So yeah, that was a little bit of a problem. I had to figure out what was going on there. There is another problem with the system that I never could figure out, and it doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. But at that second set of pistons pushing, the uh, the pistons pushing them out weren't activating for some reason. I couldn't figure out why. There was some reason for those pistons to just stop working, and I just have no idea why. They just would not push anymore. It was so weird. Um, and then it just stopped doing that. It just started working normally all of a sudden. So I don't know what's going on with that. And I don't know if you noticed early on in the video, but we were having trouble with the TNT dupers. The TNT wasn't making it through the hole and exploding the TNT dupers. I know TNT dupers are known for doing that, and I hadn't had that big of a problem with them before. Like, I did when I initially built them, but then I figured out what the workaround was for that. And then once I figured out the workaround, every time I made one, it worked perfectly fine. For whatever reason, they weren't working on this one. Um, and on this section of the video, I'm obviously, yeah. I was gonna say I'm obviously showing off all the redstone, but it's just the same thing as before. Only this time, there's no like actual stopping and me going to investigate, make sure everything's working. The only times I was stopping during this was to make sure it was working. I know that contradicts what I just said, but I was a little bit paranoid, so I wanted to make sure the redstone was working. But at the same time, I had 3 stacks of azalea trees to plant and grow and activate the system, and I wanted a non-stop flow of showing everything in a working order. Um, so you can see all the little nuances of what I've done with the redstone here and everything. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting project to take on. So this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, mostly for the mud. I really wanted a lot of mud because I don't really have a way of getting a lot of mud. I thought about making a automatic mud machine, um, but the problem with that was I needed the dirt, and that was the other thing is I do need a lot of dirt Now, unfortunately, all of this is rooted dirt, as you can see right there. So we still got the problem that we're going to have to do something about the rooted dirt once we plant it or place it. Otherwise, it's just going to be rooted dirt forever. I'm not really sure what to do about that just yet. And there are some other things that I do need to address, like the actual amount of storage. So far, my storage capabilities on any of my builds and anything have been perfectly fine. Actually, I don't want to mess with this at all. I was going to try and extend this so I can see exactly when the cutoff point is for the video, but I don't want to mess with this because it could potentially mess it up, and that would desync what I'm saying with what's going on the screen. I don't know if this is actually going to line up perfectly. Hopefully it will, but we'll see what happens once I get that going. Of course, that's going to be after I'm done with all this talking, and it should be ending here fairly soon. I know what to look for now that I think about it, because I did record this. So, again, like I said a few seconds ago, we're just showing off all the redstone and everything, and showing, where everything's at and how it goes, and trying to really give you a sense for the flow of the redstone, what is activating what and what's going on. Yeah, I had to get a little bit more water. But yeah, so up here you can see that, obviously the TNT duper is working fine. We're having no problems. I had to build this one up a little bit higher because the actual point that it's supposed to fall on was a little bit too close, and I was worried it was going to blow up the sign that's holding the water back up there. Now, we do get a little bit dark here. I'm just trying to show that the TNT is blowing the stuff up and it is falling into the system to be collected. Except for moments like that, that's why we got that special section over there that kind of circulates a redstone block. Essentially what I wanted is every 3 pushes, I wanted the TNT to fall. Unfortunately, it's every 3, it drops twice. So, 3 you get a drop, 4 you get a drop, then you go 1, 2, 3 you get a drop. So it's 2, 2, and that's the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're ready for more content. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!